In 2003, a teenager walked into a police station and said he had dreams about a murder. 2 years later, those dreams put his best friend in prison for 40 years. The dreams were a lie. And the friend? He was innocent. October 31st, 2001, Halloween night, Columbia, Missouri. Kent Heitholt, the sports editor of the Columbia Daily Tribune, leaves the newspaper office around 2 in the morning. He walks to his car in the parking lot. Someone is waiting for him. Heitholt is beaten, strangled with his own belt, left dead on the asphalt next to his car. Two employees at a nearby gas station see two figures near the body. One is tall, one is shorter, both run into the darkness. The case goes cold. For 2 years, nothing. No arrests, no suspects. The Columbia Police Department had no leads, no DNA, no fingerprints. Just two vague descriptions from gas station employees who saw the figures from a distance. Then, in 2003, everything changed, because one of those teenagers who had been at a bar that Halloween night started having dreams, or what he thought were dreams. Charles Erickson was 17 years old on that Halloween night. He and his friend Ryan Ferguson had been drinking at a college bar. Erickson was underage. Ferguson drove him home. That was the last either of them remembered. 2 years later, Erickson started having what he called dreamlike visions. In these visions, he saw himself and Ferguson at the crime scene. He saw them attacking Heitholt. He saw them running away. He couldn't be sure. But the visions felt real, so real that he went to the police. He told them everything. The police listened, and then they did something that would destroy two lives. They told Erickson that his dreams matched the evidence. They showed him crime scene photos. They fed him details. And slowly, Erickson's uncertain visions became a confession that implicated Ryan Ferguson as his accomplice. Ferguson had no idea any of this was happening until the police knocked on his door. The trial began on October 14th, 2005. The prosecution had three things: Charles Erickson's confession, the testimony of a night custodian named Jerry Trump, who claimed he saw two young men near the body, and the word of the prosecutor, Kevin Crane. Crane told the jury that Ferguson and Erickson had robbed and killed Heitholt, that they had left the bar, found Heitholt in the parking lot, and attacked him. But there were problems, big problems. No DNA matched either Ferguson or Erickson, no fingerprints, no murder weapon, no stolen items ever recovered. The only physical evidence was a bloody shoe print at the scene, and it didn't match either of their shoes. Erickson's testimony was full of contradictions. He couldn't remember basic details. He changed his story multiple times. But the prosecution had an answer for everything. Erickson was nervous, traumatized. Of course, his memory was imperfect. The jury believed him, or at least, they believed enough. On October 31st, 2005, exactly 4 years after the murder, the jury convicted Ryan Ferguson of second-degree murder and first-degree robbery. He was 20 years old. He was sentenced to 40 years in prison. Charles Erickson, who had confessed and testified against his friend, received a lesser sentence, 25 years. The system had done what it does best. It had found someone to blame, and it had moved on. Ryan Ferguson never stopped fighting. From prison, he wrote letters, he filed appeals, he was denied again and again. His father, Bill Ferguson, became a full-time advocate. He attended every hearing. He spoke to every journalist who would listen. He offered a $10,000 reward for information leading to the real killer. Years passed. Ferguson grew up in prison. He learned to stay level-headed, to control his emotions, to survive. His father told him, "Be stronger, faster, smarter," and he was. But being smart in prison doesn't get you out. What got him out was a lie that finally collapsed. In 2012, both Charles Erickson and Jerry Trump recanted. Under oath, they admitted they had lied. Erickson said the police had coerced him, that they had fed him details until his dreams became a confession, that he had no memory of being at the crime scene. Trump said the prosecutor, Kevin Crane, had pressured him to identify Ferguson, that he had never been sure, that a newspaper article shown to him by the prosecution had jogged his memory, But his own wife had no memory of showing him that article. The prosecution had hidden this. It was a Brady violation. The state had withheld exculpatory evidence from the defense, and that was the key. The Missouri Court of Appeals reviewed the case. On November 5, 2013, they vacated Ferguson's conviction. The verdict, they wrote, was not worthy of confidence. The Missouri Attorney General announced they would not retry the case. After 3,000 days behind bars, Ryan Ferguson walked out of the Boone County Prison a free man. He was 29 years old. At his first press conference, Ferguson said something that stuck with everyone who heard it. To get arrested and charged for a crime you didn't commit, it is incredibly easy and you can lose your life very fast. But to get out, it takes an army. He thanked his family, his lawyers, and then he did something unexpected. He said he would fight to free Charles Erickson, the man whose lies had put him in prison. "I know that he was used and manipulated," Ferguson said. "He needs help. He doesn't belong in prison. He's not a killer." Ferguson also had a message for the system. Not anger, not revenge, just a question. How did an innocent person end up in prison to begin with? And why does it take an army to get him out? The legal battle didn't end with freedom. In 2014, Ferguson sued the city of Columbia and the police officers involved. In 2017, a judge awarded him $11 million, but the insurance company, Travelers, refused to pay, so Ferguson sued again. In November 2024, a jury sided with him, and on June 16, 2025, a Cole County judge ordered Travelers to pay $43.8 million. It is the largest individual award for a wrongful conviction in United States history. Ferguson's attorney, Kathleen Zellner, called it confirmation that the legal system works. Sometimes, if you persevere, if you have an army. Ryan Ferguson is free. Charles Erickson was paroled in 2023 after nearly 20 years. Kevin Crane, the prosecutor who built the case on dreams and coercion, became a judge in 2002. He has never faced consequences for what he did. Kent Heitholt's murder remains officially unsolved. And the system that convicted an innocent man based on a teenager's dreams? It's still out there, still looking for the next confession, still waiting for the next dream. If this case made you stop and think, that's exactly why we made it. Hit like if you want more stories like this. And subscribe to Veil of Truth, because the cases that matter most are the ones nobody talks about.